How's everyone doing? CJ Halleck, cjhalleck.com. And in this video, I'm going to continue to build out the SHMOOGA.com website. Just wanted to show you guys kind of how this works. Kind of on a backwards slate than how I did the homepage, which is basically building the site as you go and kind of building a template and then going back in, if need be, if you don't know the content off the top of your head, to fill in the content later. And build as you go instead of, where we did them, I kind of drew out the concept for how I wanted the homepage to look. So I already kind of knew that. With this, I have an idea on how I want it to look, but I may be changing some stuff along the way, and I don't have the content prepared, aside from the link for a video that we're going to use, which is the how to start. Whew, that was loud in the headphones. Without how to, basically, this is about the only video that I have. I know I need a playlist. We're going to get to all that in a second. But anyways, so we're going to start by coming up here and clicking on New Page. We're going to name it How to Start. Okay, let that process for a second. Make sure you get that permalink set. Then you're going to come down here and do content layout, 100% full width. You're going to come down here to title, disable the title, and then you're going to come back up and save draft. And there's one thing I just saw and it reminded me that we didn't do this on the homepage, and that is your featured image. So I have it on the board, on my Kanban board, to start on the featured image video. So that's probably going to be one of the next things I work on after these next 2 or 3 videos and I get the SHMOOGA site built. So yeah, we're going to cover that, and I have a Photoshop template, and I'll show you how to edit that without Photoshop in case if you wanted to use something like Pixlr or one of the other sites that will let you edit Photoshop without having Photoshop. So anyways, once you have that done, and you have it saved as a draft, to make sure that it saves the permalink and all the settings down here, you're going to go ahead and click Edit with Elementor, and it's going to open up the Elementor editor, and we're going to go ahead and get started building out the page. So basically once again, you're starting with a blank slate. So we're going to go ahead and start with Add New Section, and this is just going to be the video, this one right here. So what I want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this URL while I'm over here and copy. I'm going to go ahead and use this section. That way it has a little bit more padding on the sides without me having to actually do it. Then we're going to grab the video, drop it in. We'll go ahead and paste the video in so his video's there. The next thing I'm going to do, I don't like when you get on websites, from time to time you'll see websites that the header and the first section of the website is the same color. To me, I think the missing contrast becomes an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in and edit the section. I'm going to turn this into full width. And then I'm going to go ahead and click yes to stretch the section. Then we're going to come in advanced, and from here, gonna actually do, I think it's maybe this one. Nope, I gotta change the color first. So we're gonna go to Style, Background Type, and we're gonna change the color to a grayish color. That works for me. That way we can at least see what's going on here. And then come back over to Advanced, and I think it's, nope, it's padding. So we're gonna, the link thing messes with me. There we go. Technical difficulties. I can't think today. That is why. So basically I'm trying to change the row instead of the actual thing itself. So we're going to come in here. We're going to click on the edit for the video. Come to advanced. Once again, unlink. and we're gonna go backwards on the border. And I'm doing this because I like the way it looks, with where it looks like it's kind of part of two different sections. And I'm gonna just bring this down to 75 to make it a number that's easy to remember. That way it kind of has that little almost 3D effect in your design. So the next thing we're gonna do once I have that done is I'm gonna add a new section. I'm gonna go full width. And anytime that you are in the middle of building out or whatever, and you get to a section and you're trying to get back to add things, you can hit this section right here and it automatically will bring up all the different elements. So I'm going to go ahead and grab in the heading. We're going to drop that in there. And is important. And I'm actually going to get rid of that period. So there we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make that centered. We're going to come into style, change the text color to that green we've been using. Change typography so we can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'm going to actually go a hair small. Actually, yeah, I don't want it. I want it a little bigger than that. Okay, so we'll go 25. All right, so now that we have that, then we're going to come over to advanced and add padding to the top to bring this down. Actually, I'll take it back to the 75 to match the other one so the spacing stays the same. And then we're going to start on the next, next row. I almost said next column. No idea what I'm thinking. So anyways, so now that you have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you basically how to take a template and customize it to make it your own. Of course, this was something I just did this, so it's, this isn't the template, but we're going to come in here and click Add Template. And you'll notice, and I noticed this on one of my other sites, that they've added, continue to add more and more stuff. They have Black Friday sale stuff. If you can see on the screen here, it's a few days before Black Friday. So you can come down and look all the way down. They have a whole bunch of different templates. And of course, not all of them are free. The ones that have pro or the paid templates. So we're not going to get into those. But what we are going to do is I'm going to use this homepage agency template. So you can click on them outside of the insert button and see a kind of overlay of how it works. And this isn't something that I really, hands down must have this entire setup. But I like these sections right here. So what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to actually insert the template and then I'm going to remove the stuff I don't like. So once you have this done, the main thing you're going to want to do is just get started, right? So get started in the sections that you don't want. Just hover over the columns or the rows and hit remove section. And you can do this with any of the sections you don't like. Okay, so I'm back to this. I don't like that it's the same color. Once again, I like having that contrast in my pages. So we're going to click on this to edit the section. We'll leave the section boxed so that way it has the little bit of padding on the side. And I'm going to go ahead and stretch section to make sure even with the padding on the the boxed section that actually stays with some padding on the side without having to touch it. And then I'm going to come into style and change the background color. And I'm going to go ahead. We'll do just a lighter gray than the one up here. So you have that done. Now I'm just basically going to go in here and start customizing these sections. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure any of the placeholders that have color, you want to make sure you change the color to match the website. We're going to make the width 10. We'll make that super thick, and then we'll take this to 50. Why not? Okay. And then we're going to come in here. How to make a website with WordPress. And this is an image. It's an actual, let's see, I don't need to move that. It's an actual PNG with the background transparent. So this isn't an icon. You're not going to be able to just surf through and find whatever. So this isn't something I'm going to be changing right now. I'm going to use this as a placeholder for right now as I continue to go through, build the site out, and get the other stuff I'm putting in. So I'm going to come down here. We're going to continue to add the content. You know, if you know you need a website and not sure where to start, let me help. Okay, so I wrote a little bit of content. Of course, I will probably come back in at a later time and edit this stuff, maybe fine tune it. I may need to, you know, highlight some stuff or, you know, build some stuff out and do some SEO work or whatever. But for right now, we're just using this stuff as placeholders. So we're going to come down to the read more, and I'm going to actually delete this because I would rather that be a button. So we're going to bring a button in here. Of course, it's already green, so we shouldn't have to touch it, although I'm going to go ahead and change the color at a later time. I'm going to go ahead and keep the click me, and I'm going to go ahead and link this out to a YouTube playlist. So I'm going to come over to YouTube, and I'm going to click on the playlist itself and grab this URL and come back here and paste it in. Get rid of the hashtag, pasted it in, and we can make this medium, make it a little bit bigger. You can select an icon, and I'm going to go ahead and put YouTube. Let's change this to watch tutorial, and we'll leave that aligned left. I kind of like the way that looks. The only thing is I'm going to change this green to make it more of color that works. We can do it with that one. We can go to a lighter green, or we can take it to, you know, like the YouTube red. So you can come in here and go, you know, YouTube red color code. And it shows here the number or the hex code, if you will, for YouTube. So you can go ahead and grab this. We're going to copy that and come back over here and paste it in. And I'm using Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste on a PC, and Command-C, Command-V on Mac. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. And so it's got the, you know, it's just one of them things with that red. It kind of pops off the page. It matches with YouTube, so it associates it automatically. Of course, you have the play button here. So I kind of like the way that looks. Something is still missing, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's go back to the content, and let's keep it before, maybe add some spacing. Maybe change the size again. Yeah, let's do it that way. And there we go. So I like the way that looks. So now that that's finished, what I'm going to do is to actually, we're going to use this duplicate column and the duplicate row section. So basically I like the setup, but instead of having to go back through and redo this a bunch, I'm going to come down here and just delete the rest of these. Okay, now that I have that gone, I'm going to go ahead and use this section right here to duplicate that entire row. So once you have that done, you can then come in here and move, and now all of a sudden it's on the other side. So now you have one here, and then all you're doing at this point is changing things over. So we can click this, change that to align right, and align right. There we go, style. And change the button. And now you're good to go. You can leave this as a placeholder. Actually, let's change the color on this one. And we'll make this one white, and we'll rotate between those two colors. And go back to layout. And you can see it kind of gives that, you know, going back and forth look, has the contrast in colors, and then you can go ahead and start with this for the next tutorial, so or the next section. So for this, I'm going to Ultimate Instagram Guide. Alright, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to go, I watched Gary's content for months on Instagram. A lot of what he shared helped, but some of the exact how to was missing. So I spent over 100 hours doing my own research and found information. Used that information to put this blog post together. It can help you grow your business. Okay, so now that I have that, it's just a basic write-up. Like I said, we're not trying to do everything perfect. You can come in here at a later time and change this stuff up, which I am probably more than likely going to. Now you need to come do the button. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to grab that link. And I'm going to do this a little weird. Instead of just having the link ready, of course, I do things complicated. So I'm going to just click on a post. And go ahead and search Instagram. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the link once this loads. Okay, so I'm going to grab the link, Ultimate Guide to Instagram. And if you want to see this, you can get to it the same way I just did. Of course, you can go to the SHMOOGA site once this is finished, which will be if you're watching this video. And this is basically, this is a menu, so it kind of jumps to the specific parts of the blog post. And it's a very long, very, very long blog post. I think it's somewhere around like 7,500 to 8,000 words. And it's still got a lot of stuff that I need to add to it. This is just something I put together. And of course, you see, you know, some of the videos and stuff that Gary has put out. Just basically wanted to cover, you know, everything you need to know, if you will, on how to use Instagram, how to post, you know, using Grambler, which is a tool that I use to put up posts on Instagram with my PC. Excuse me, and I've used it on my Mac as well. So anyways, I have the link, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this link and come back here, and we're going to go ahead and edit this button. We're going to change the link out. paste the link in, and we're going to change the icon. We're going to go ahead and search Instagram, and we're going to change the color of the button. And you can't really do the color for Instagram because it's more of a rainbow right now. So we're going to go ahead and do Instagram color code. You know, because as you see this right here, it's got that gradient effect on it, and with these buttons, unfortunately, as of now, unless there's something that I don't know, and if some of you are watching this and you know how to do the gradient on the buttons inside of Elementor, please feel free to comment below and let me know. But we're basically just going to do the one color, so we're going to go ahead and open up the Instagram color palette here, and you see all this, but it doesn't actually give me the color for the pinkish color that I'm wanting. It gives a red, but it doesn't really match in my opinion. So maybe we're going to come in here, and that looks more like it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this color code and copy, come over here and paste. Alright, so we got this. It's set up. Only thing is you're not watching the tutorial. So let's go back to the content and change this to read guide. Free, right? I want to make sure you guys understand. It's a blog post. So anyway, so that's there, and that's the next post. So we got that done. And you can continue to come through here and add new stuff. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this section again, actually 2 more times. I'm going to do this one as well. And the reason I'm doing this is since we've already done the work to move this over, all we need to do is come up here, grab this, and you can move it down like this, so it automatically will go back and forth between the two. And so now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and start with this one, which is going to be the next training that I do to help you guys out with this getting started stuff, and that is how to start a podcast. Now we'll go ahead and just step for step how to start cast. Hosting to building, from podcast hosting to putting it. See, I can't think on a fly like this. To submitting it to iTunes and the Google Play Store. Okay. So I got that in there. And because this is not ready to go, obviously the site's not completed yet, so I don't have the podcast up. This is going to basically just be a coming soon button. And we're going to change the icon to the podcast icon. And since we're making everything color based, let's see here. podcast color. Code. I want that purple color that's on the iTunes app. And I think this is not what I'm gonna see, and it's not. So basically put, I'm gonna go ahead and do some guesswork here. Come up to style, go ahead and change the color, and I'm gonna try to get that purple. That'll work for now. And so once I have that done, I'm gonna make sure, double check the content. Okay, make sure that link goes to the right place, which is nowhere. And anytime I do a link, I keep the hashtag in there because this will actually redirect it back to the page that it's on. So you want to, if it's just the hashtag, that'll make sure that if they click on this, they understand it's coming soon, so you're not actually, really stressed with it. And I'll tell you, really, let me see here. I wonder, yeah. So you can do the typography and actually change, if you want it, super huge. But right now I'm going to go ahead and turn that off and leave it the way it is. But you can change this stuff, if you wanted to change the color for the hover, you can do that, all that fun stuff. But for right now, I'm not going to touch it. Next, we're going to come down here to the next one, which is probably going to be, let's say, how to use YouTube. Let's put Ultimate Guide to YouTube. And this is not done yet either, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure and this is going to be Complete Guide to YouTube from creating. Let's do it this way. Cover the different ways to create video along with some tips, hacks, and more. Don't forget, let's go, don't forget that Google owns YouTube, so SEO is important. I'll cover that too. Alright, and then the next thing, of course, is to come down and change the button out. We're going to go ahead and put this back to that. Change this to coming soon. Alright, just double checking on all this stuff. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come up here and grab the color code again for the red for YouTube and come down here and plug that in real quick. Alright, and then of course you want to get to the content. You want to make sure the icon's right, and I'm going to do this one. We're not going to touch anything. Keep it coming soon. It's spaced right. Good to go. And so basically put, you can get the idea. You're just basically replacing the content on the pages. So I have the link going to the Instagram guide, the link going to the playlist to make the website. Going to continue to have different things that I'm going to continue to add here for you guys. So that's basically how I build out, just another example of building out pages. And I'm just going to kind of glance through this and make sure this is set correctly. I'm going to actually come up here and add some extra padding down here at the bottom. We'll put 10 in there. That should cover the 10, negative 10 that drops when I drop that down. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. And of course, for those of you who are kind of catching this and didn't watch the first video, the one thing you want to make sure is, regardless of how you design, especially inside of Elementor, you want to make sure that it is responsive. So we're going to come in here and we're going to click on this little monitor icon and change it over to make sure everything continues to look right. So you're just going to scroll down, look, everything looks good to me there. We're going to click on mobile and take a look here. Make sure everything looks right. Everything shows up right. It's nothing, I mean, I don't necessarily care about all these sections, because some of this is a little weird, like with it being off center. So basically you can come in here. Hold on, where am I at? Why is this not going away? There we go. Once you're in mobile, you can change the alignment for this stuff in mobile. So basically I'm going to go ahead and center this content, or at least the buttons, just to give it a better look. Because if you notice, like if you click on this, it's centered in mobile, right? Because this was part of the template. And same with the text. The only thing that is not is the buttons, and that's because I put them in myself. So you're going to come through here and just, make sure you center all the buttons. And everything else should be good to go. In mobile, where you can come in here, and I'm going to actually start with this one. And we're going to go to advanced. And may want to add some padding. Oh, maybe not. Add a margin. And it's got these two sections, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make it a 5 pixel margin all the way across to kind of give that some extra spacing just in case. Come down here to this, advanced. Wait, nope, that ain't right. And I'm going to remove some of this so we're not super crowded with everything, and bring this back down to 75. Okay, that way that gets, centered and good to go. Come down and then just double check everything, play around with it if you need to continue to go back and forth like I am. That's totally cool. And of course the footer is going to be the same, which, by the way, you need to follow Gary V's account on Instagram, hands down. So that being said, that's his Instagram on Spotify, or account on Spotify. Of course on Instagram too, but his account on Spotify, he's got some good motivational playlists and stuff. And you can check out, I believe he's got, I don't know how long he'll keep it, but I think he's got the link to his Spotify there in his profile, bio link in Instagram. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now that I know what it looks like on mobile, I'm good to go with this page. Hope you guys have appreciated this video. Hope it helped you guys. Once again, as always, if there's anything I can do to help you, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me on social media at CJ or you can shoot me an email, cj@cjhalleck.com. Other than that, hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded and get started on the next page. We'll catch you guys later.